Okay, so we're starting on the 3-2 study. In your own words, write a definition for each of the terms.
Collecting like terms.
This is when we're simplifying an expression by grouping together terms that have the same variables and powers and then adding or subtracting these terms. So let's organize, complete each of the steps to find the sum. So step 1 on this is to remove the parentheses. Step 2 is to collect like terms, and then we simplify. So you just rewrite without the parentheses. Because these are all positive, it's just adding. You just keep all the signs the same. Now we collect like terms. So let's put the x squareds with the x squareds. Let's put the x's with the x's. And let's put the constant with the constant. And now we simplify by adding or subtracting these. So 2x squareds plus 3x squareds is 5x squareds. 1x plus 2x is 3x. 3 plus 1 is 4. Let's try this one. Remove the parentheses. Combine like terms. Grouping first. Notice this time the signs are different, so we are going to be combining like terms and subtracting. So a positive 1 minus 2 is a negative 1x squared. A negative 2 plus 5x turns out to, when you subtract, be a 3x. 7 minus 1 is a positive 6. So notice that we first group them together and then we combine them together. Using each number once, write 1, 2, or 3, 4 in each blank to show in which order the steps would be done. So simplifying the sum, add the polynomials, arrange the problem vertically, and fill in the blank. And so step 1, it could be helpful to arrange the problem vertically. Step 2, fill in any missing terms using 0 coefficients. Step 3 is simplify. Step 3 is adding the polynomials, and then step 4 is simplifying the sum. So let's go practice these steps. Writing the problem vertically so that the constant is above the constant, the x is above the x's, the x squared is above the x's. So here I go. That's a positive 3 minus 1x. 3 minus 2x squared is just a positive 1. You don't need the 1 here, so you could just write it as x squared minus x plus 3. Now notice here that there's x's and there's a constant, and if you just added vertically, it would be adding the wrong terms here. So if I rewrite this one as negative 5x squareds plus 17x, and then below I write the minus x squared, leave a space or write a plus 0x, and then bump the 17 over. Now we're going to be able to combine like terms and be careful with not adding the things that were not like terms. All right. Let's complete these steps. Use the distributive property to change the subtraction. So adding polynomials like we've done so far, that's pretty simple.
Where mistakes sometimes get made is when subtracting.
Because this negative here changes all the signs of everything in the back, you just have to be careful of signs. So here I go, getting rid of the parentheses. The front stays the exact same. The back changes to a minus 2x squared, minus 6x, and plus 1. Now I go into the grouping. And now I can simplify by combining like terms. Now, do you prefer this method, which we did first, or do you want to solve it like an addition problem, where you write 1 on top and write 1 on the bottom and then solve? So which method did you like? It's going to be your choice to decide. Finally, so for this one right here, when you're deciding which method to use, recall that because of that negative, we do have to distribute that negative to all the parts. And then when you're doing this, you decide which one do you want, do you want to do it in grouping order? Do you want to do it in vertical order? Let's try this out. Getting rid of the parentheses. The front stays the same. The back becomes negative 2x squared, minus 6x, and plus 1. Now if I write this in descending order, I only have a negative 2x squareds. I don't have any others. Then there's the negative 3x and the negative 6x. Then there's the plus 4 and the plus 1. So notice that here there's not 2 of these x squared terms, there's just 1. So if you're following these steps along here, make sure the polynomials are in descending order first, write them vertically, replace any missing terms with coefficients. So if we were going to take these and combine them, notice that when I write this back part, negative 2x squareds minus 6x plus 1, I'm then going to write the negative 3x plus 4 below it. And so notice that we want to line things up vertically with what they match with. And then multiply the bottom. Oh, this would be if you are going to change the signs vertically. And then again, if we combine this, our final answer was negative 2x squared minus 9x plus 5. Find each difference. Here's 2 practices for you here at the very bottom. Again, use the method that you prefer. Do you want to do vertical or do you want to just do grouping? Leave the front the same. Distribute the negative to all parts. Group. Now notice in this case, so the front just gives you 1x squared, but notice the 2x and the minus 2x actually cancel each other out, and then 3 minus 1 is just 2. So notice that in this case I'm left with a binomial. Sometimes things cancel each other out. In this case, this negative is going to change this sign to positive and this sign to positive. So keep in mind that when you're subtracting and you're using the vertical method, that you do need to be careful of those signs. So here I go, the x squareds with the x squared, the x's with the x, and this minus 1 really is off to the back. So negative 3x squared plus x squared gives me negative 2x squareds, positive 4x and positive 4x, and then the minus 1, which doesn't need to combine with anything. Which method do you prefer?